Underneath there, I found the original blueprints from 1917.
Welcome everyone. In this video I'm gonna be speaking with Z. Z has a real estate license and he's also investor. Over the course of 5 years he was able to build his rental portfolio close to $2 million. So in this video I'm gonna make sure to ask him some right questions so you would know what does it take to become a real estate millionaire and to start investing in real estate yourself. So make sure to watch till the end because this video is full of informations. What's up, man?
What's up, George? How you been, man?
Amazing. How are you? Nice
Good,
to see
buddy. You. Good. You see me? I got 2x4s in the truck, man, ready to go, ready to work in these clothes, man. No, I'm kidding. I knew you were gonna come here. You were gonna do a little interview on my life and how I do. But yeah, man, let's go check out some of the deals I did, man. We're gonna go see a double that I just wrapped up, getting ready to rent. Got tenants ready to go, and then we're gonna go see a single family. I had a tenant there for 5 years. We're doing a little bit of renovations before we get it ready for rent. And then you can ask me anything you want, and I'm going to learn a little bit about you too, man. So.
Yeah, let's go.
So this is one of the rentals that I have in the rental portfolio. It's a double we picked up last year around May. So this was May of 2022.
Nice. And how much did you pay for it?
So this house right here, it was $170,000. We got it under contract.
Wow, that's not a bad deal for this street, actually.
$170,000. Initially, I know it's a little bit of a busier street, but my whole idea behind it, you know, being in the area that we're at, the rental market is really hot, and primarily I was looking to do this as an Airbnb. That was my whole idea of when I ended up getting it under contract, is converting this house into like a really high-end Airbnb property.
Nice. And how much does it rent for now?
So initially when I picked it up back in 2022, each unit was getting $650 a month in rent, which was very low. You know, the previous owner, he didn't really know he didn't have much real estate experience, and he was definitely underwater. His mortgage payments were around $1,300. And he was losing money every single month between the water bill and you know, the taxes, the property taxes and whatnot. And he kind of let the property go, but you know, we're doing some work to it, bringing it back to life. And currently we stabilized it. So the upstairs tenant, we had to increase it little by little, and now he's paying $1,000 per month. And the downstairs, it was completely rehabbed and renovated, and you guys will get to see that in a minute. And that's going for $1,450 a month, and I got a new tenant coming in literally in the next like week or so. So
that's pretty cool.
So
congratulations.
Now we're getting about $2,450 a month in rental income, and it's going to be cash flowing me around $1,100-$1,200 a month.
Wow,
so it's nice.
That's crazy. So can we take a look inside?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go in, man. Let's see if I got the key. I don't even have the key. I'm kidding. It's open. It's open.
Don't scare me like that, man.
Here. Yeah, but come in, man. This is it's a little still messy. I gotta clean up a little stuff here and there, but yeah, this is the final product, man. We redid the kitchen. There used to be a wall right here, like a divider. We knocked the wall down. We put in recessed lighting. This island, believe it or not, these cabinets I kept. So the whole idea when it comes to rentals is you want to save as much money as possible. Especially if you're going to be renting it, but you don't want to be cheap, right? So what we did with this is we painted the cabinets. We put in hardware from Amazon, literally like a 30 pack you get for like $20. You can't beat it, man. And then this island right here, they were wall cabinets, and they were very narrow, 12 inches. So what I ended up doing is I expanded it so that way you can actually sit over here, plug in your laptop, work, put a couple bar stools, and turn it into an actual island. And then we put these pendant lights above it to kind of put everything together.
That's perfect, man. Looks nice.
Yeah,
what about the flooring?
Nice. The flooring, so it looks like tile. It's not tile. It's vinyl, and it's a click floor. But I figure when I first got started in this, I've been doing rentals for about 6 years now. We used to put actual tile, like Becker board and tile, and I'm always like very pro putting nice material and always looking at it long term. But the more I've been doing this, I realize that it's better going with like something that's easy and quick to install. The reason being is because styles change all the time.
Yeah.
So what happens is, you know, you give this 5, 6, 7 years, 8 years, it's very durable, but you know, 10 years down the line, the tenant is going to be a completely different type of tenant. So it's going to it's going to be a lot quicker to turn over by picking this up, tossing it, and putting something new and modern that's going to be modern at that time.
Yeah. Nice.
So,
yeah, kitchen looks awesome. Good job, man. So do you work yourself or do you hire out?
When I first started out, I did all the work myself. You know, my first house was a single family home. I bought FHA, and I slept on a futon, learned how to do tile, drywall, electrical, plumbing, the whole nine yards, man. It was tough while working 3 jobs. But now it's gotten to the point where there's sufficient enough cash flow. I'm able to contract a lot of the stuff out, and plus I built a lot of good relationships over the years with lots of contractors that kind of helped me along, that helped me out along the way, which is phenomenal. You know, having 2 little boys at home and a wife. I got a 2.5-year-old and a 7-month-old.
That's like having 3 more jobs, man.
Correct, man. So I can't be running around like I used to. So I try to contract out majority of it. I still do stuff here and there that I like doing, like electrical and whatnot. But other than that, most of it I try to contract out. So
okay.
Yeah. And these appliances, guys. This is all from Facebook Marketplace. You know, secondhand. They look great. And you want to stay current, man. I like putting in the stainless steel.
How much did you pay for these appliances? You said for Facebook Marketplace?
Yeah, so the refrigerator was $300. The microwave was like $100.
Wow.
The stove was $150. And the dishwasher, I want to say, was $200.
No way.
Yeah, it was a good deal. You just gotta keep following it and be active when it comes to these things, because they go quick. And you got to make sure you reach out to these people, because these appliances, they definitely go quick, that's for sure. And it helped me save. I mean, between all the appliances, you're talking a whole package like this would usually run you around $3,000. So there's definitely a couple $1,000s in savings, which is phenomenal. You know, if it was a flip, if you know, and I've done flips in the past, if it was a flip, I would put everything brand new. But being that it's a rental, there's going to be a lot of turnover, especially if I decide to go the Airbnb route down the line. It's better to just have used stuff, and that way you can just get it in and out, and that's that.
Nice.
So with the bathroom, you can come here. Here we gutted everything, and we still did the LVL, the high-end flooring, like the click flooring. The one thing I do like doing is I actually like putting tile around the tub. The reason being is because I want to make sure that my properties are well taken care of, and you know, moisture is one of the things that I absolutely hate. So you want to make sure when installing this stuff, it's all nicely waterproof with like a waterproof membrane before putting on the tile. And I'm not a fan of the plastics around because they stain, they yellow, and this is, I mean, I think for the time being, it worked out really well as far as the design goes with what we had, and the size of the bathroom as well.
Nice, looks awesome, man.
And then we did all the flooring throughout the entire unit. So let's go in the living room. I'll show you over here. We'll turn on the lights. I put dimmer switches here. I added this recessed lighting. There used to be an old fireplace. We refaced it, made it look very modern. Ran electrical for the TV up here. And the whole flooring we did with no transitions. So if you notice, when you go into other rooms, it flows nicely, which is, it's one of my biggest pet peeves is if you have transition pieces along every single room. So I like everything looking uniform.
Yeah, I agree.
And clean.
Looks professional, man.
Yeah, and then when you list these things, once you get a professional photographer in here and you put it up for rent on Zillow or Apartments.com, I mean, they go quick. I've never had issues renting any of my units out. And the number one thing with renting them out is, you know, if you invest this money into these units, you want to make sure you get quality tenants. If you are a landlord starting out, if you're getting into your first rental property, always do a background check, always do a credit check. Make sure you get good quality tenants. You know, I'm the type of guy, I'd rather have this place empty for a couple months, which it never has been, and get somebody that's really good quality in here that I know is going to pay my rent on time, than having somebody come in here for a couple months, pay you, and then, you know, you spend the next 3-4 months trying to evict them. And by the time all that's said and done, more than likely they're gonna run the property down. So, yeah, but honestly, George, you know, I can honestly tell you my 6 years of doing these rental properties that we have, I have yet to receive a late payment. All my tenants are 740, 750 credit scores, young professionals. Never had any issues, and it's been an absolute blessing and minimal headaches, you know, so which is great. I think one of the biggest mistakes that landlords make is they don't take care of their properties, you know. And if you hear background noise, I got a furnace guy installing a brand new furnace downstairs.
Yeah, you see a brand new furnace. And how old was the previous furnace?
Oh, so the previous owner, man, he had these furnaces from the 70s.
Wow.
From the 70s. They were still working. And, you know, I decided to put in a couple new AC units, a couple new furnaces. And this is all because, in my mind, I'm going to hold this property for the next 20, 25, 30 years. It only makes sense. You know, it's a little bit of money up front, right? But it's going to save me a lot of headaches down the line, you know. And the cash flow is so great that, you know, I'm going to have my money back within a couple years of what I put in here, and it's unbelievable. It's great, you know. So it's going to pay itself tenfold, no doubt in my mind. So George, this is actually the first rental property I ever bought. I live across the street over there, and I noticed that it was an estate, and there was an executor involved. I kept messaging him for 2 years, man. 2 years I kept sending him letters.
Wow, follow up is the key, man.
Yeah, so eventually we ended up closing on it at $95,000 in western end of Lakewood, man, Lakewood, Ohio. My tenant, my very first tenant that I had, he actually just moved out, so we're doing a little bit of renovations here. He was here for almost 5 years, so which is pretty neat. The house is a little bit on the older side. I mean, all these homes are old, but it's amazing what they rent out for. This property, excuse the mess, we're in the middle of a little bit of construction. So we're redoing a couple things here before I get it rent ready, but this should rent out for about $1,800 to $2,000 a month. And again, our mortgage payment on this, I want to say, is like $1,000. So this is also going to be cash flowing anywhere between like $800 to $1,000, and we put the water bill on the tenant because it is a single family home. What's cool about this house, actually, when we first bought it, right here, let me show you this, man. You're gonna appreciate this.
Let me see.
So I took this drawer out like this, and underneath there I found the original blueprints from 1917 and the architectural drawings when the house was
That's crazy. No way.
It was unbelievable, man. And the original contract from the builder, it was $4,700 for the piece of land, material cost, construction. The whole build was $4,700 back in 1917. I took all that and I framed it and I have it in my office. And it's just one of those things, if I ever do decide to sell this property, I don't think I will, but if I do decide to sell this property, those documents are going to go with the property, because I feel like it's lasted that long. It needs to go with the house. So let me take you through here. So this is the living room. We're going to change out that light fixture. You know, more than likely we're going to be painting the wood. We're going to be painting it white, modernize it a little bit. And then over here, the owner before me, he actually had a drop ceiling in here. So we ripped it out. We're redoing everything. We're going to be putting recessed lighting. You don't have to put a lot of money into these houses, but you can't be a slumlord. You gotta have it somewhat presentable for your tenants. And like I said, if you're in a good location is the key when it comes to this. They always rent out, no problem. If we go upstairs, so this is a 3-bedroom and a 1.5 bath. We have a half bath in the basement. Basement's a bit of a mess right now, but they're decent sized rooms. I'll show you up here. And again, when we're done with this, it's all going to be professionally cleaned. There's going to be professional photography. This tub, it's a clawfoot tub. I'm not a fan of it, but for the time being, it is what it is. We're going to get that professionally refinished. We're going to redo the bathroom ceiling in here. And then you can kind of see the bedrooms over here. I got some drywall on the way right now. It never ends. This job never ends. It never stops.
I know, right?
Yeah. And then there's a sunroom back there. You can see the whole backyard. It's all fenced in. So this type of home, what we target is like a young family that wants to send their kids to the Lakewood school system in the hopes that they're going to be here for quite a few years. You know, the key is to get the least amount of turnovers, so that way you don't have to keep like painting and fixing up these properties. So, and then the third floor, so there's 3 bedrooms on this floor. The third floor, I'm finishing up. Oh, excuse that. I'm finishing up, and this is just gonna be one big space. I can't really consider it a bedroom, but it is extra usable space they can use as a recreation room. If they want to put a bed in here, I'm not going to say anything, you know, but it definitely helps getting it rented out quick. And this is all going to get repainted. We insulated all the rafters with insulation. There's going to be recessed lighting. It's going to get fresh paint. And it's about it.
I mean, most of the landlords, they wouldn't put money into a space like this to make it nice because it cannot be considered as a bedroom, right? So what makes you spend money on this?
So here's the thing, it doesn't take a lot to fix something up like this. You know, I have the right guys to get it done for fairly cheap. I'm probably gonna invest like maybe $3,500 into this whole unit, you know, $4,000 for this upstairs. And the thing is, that what I get in return is when people do come in here, like a young family, it's a lot easier to rent out seeing that it's a finished space, and it just adds more square footage to the home.
Yeah.
And that's the key. I mean, you know, being that it's a single family, I don't have to worry about cutting the grass, getting a, you know, long guy in here, and they take care of everything, you know. And for $2,000 a month, I mean, it's you can't beat that, man. And it was my first rental. The whole idea, being that I live across the street, is I'm kind of holding it for my parents as they get up there in age. I want to see what's going to happen with them, and possibly moving them in here so they're closer to me and they can take care. You know, it's not because I like my parents, it's so they can take care of my kids.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I love my mom and dad.
He's joking. He's joking.
Yeah, but yeah, that's it, man. Not much to it, and you know, it's a nice house. I know, you know, when we closed on this, I paid $95,000. I know I can sell it tomorrow for, you know, just clean it up and get it rent ready. I know it would sell in the 250s all day. So the money's always there in the equity, you know, and if I'm ever hung up for cash, I can always turn around and sell one of the units, one of the doubles or the singles to get right back on my feet. But I try not to. I play the long-term game, and I want to hold on to these properties for as long as I can. You know, that's the ultimate goal, because the real estate year after year for the past 70, 80, 90 years, it's just gone up and up. And just like I told you guys, somebody paid $4,700 back in 1917.
Yeah.
And today this property is worth $250,000, $260,000. And you just got to think what it's going to be worth 20 years from now, 30 years from now. You know, so it's a nice little nest egg, a nice little retirement plan, and it hasn't failed me yet.
So should we go to the next one?
Which one? Which property? I got a few of them, George.
Oh, okay. Let's go to the closest one, okay?
Okay, let's go. Come on. So George, this is, like I said, this is the first rental we had, and we actually just picked up another one down the street. And that one, it was an interesting situation. The family lived there for 52 years, and it was a referral from a friend of mine. And I got the house before it actually went up for sale, which is unbelievable. It's really, the price was, you can't beat it. So we closed on it for $132,500. I'll show you right now. So it's going to be the 4th house.
Okay.
If you keep driving, the one with the bushes right there.
Which one? There's 2.
The one right there. The one right there.
Oh,
so you can see right there. That one we closed on for $132,000. Okay. And literally, this was probably a couple weeks ago. That house right there, so if you see with that brown house,
yeah,
it just went up for sale a week ago for $260,000, and it sold instantly within 48 hours, which is, I mean, you know, we have $120,000 in equity right there in that house instantly just because of that property right there. You know, and this is also going to be a long-term play. We're probably going to rent it out. Not exactly sure how I'm going to go about it yet. Maybe an Airbnb, maybe it's just going to be a standard rental. So I'm not exactly sure. I'm still kind of pondering that, but we'll see when we cross that bridge. So
nice. So you showed me a couple of your properties, And how many doors do you have now?
So currently we have 8 doors total. 8 doors. We did a couple flips in between as we progressed along the way.
And how much does that produce in a gross rent?
So gross is around close to $12,000 a month.
Wow.
And then probably around $5,500 to $6,000 goes towards servicing the loans, water bills. So almost around $6,000 in cash flow per month on the properties.
Nice. That's
So,
not
yeah.
bad, man.
No, I mean it's great, man.
Yeah.
It definitely frees up time to spend with my boys and my wife, and it's nice.
So how your day looks like? I mean, you seem very productive.
man.
You do real estate. You also have a real estate license. You do sales, and you also have rental properties.
Yeah.
How do you manage to do everything?
So
I mean,
starting out, it was a little challenging, you know. But I always knew the reason I got my real estate license is because I wanted to get into the rental game. I was always thinking more long term when buying these homes. I did do a couple flips. We did really well on. But at the time you factor in the labor cost, material cost, by the time you pay Uncle Sam, you can make decent money, but you pay a lot of it back, and having rental property, it definitely helps me out with financially, as far as like, I get to deduct a lot of stuff on my taxes, which is great, and it's, it helps you save a lot in the long run.
oh, for sure.
Because there's a lot of depreciation and there's a lot of tax advantages when it comes to these rentals, and it's great.
What would be the advice you would give to someone starting out?
I'll give you guys a real life example. So I have a couple pieces of advice. For realtors, if you are getting into real estate, we don't have the best retirement plan, right? So you want to think long term. This is a commission-based business as a realtor. Obviously you have to work with your clients and provide the best service, but also think about your future as well. If you're thinking about your client's future and their American dream, you want to build your American dream along the way as well. And anybody getting their real estate license should definitely consider buying rental property along the way. And I'm surprised, being in this business going on almost 10 years, that not more realtors have done so. As far as for anybody looking to get into investing as a first-time home buyer, I used an FHA loan for my first property. I got into a property with 3.5% down at the age of 22, and it was a single-family home. Now, you can learn from my mistakes. I would like to say it was a mistake. If I did it over again, I would have went with either a double or triple, or even a quad, so even a fourplex.
Yeah.
With the FHA guidelines, they allow you to get into a 4-unit apartment building with 3.5% down. So what that will do for you is, you'll have 1 unit pay for your mortgage, 1 unit be cash flow, and one of them you're living for free, and another one you can set aside to save money for another down payment down the line for another property, while building equity. So your tenants are actually helping you pay off your debts and build you equity without you even really like trying and noticing.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what allowed, that aspect of the business really allowed me to scale, and I want to take it even further, So
what's the next, first, how do you finance your properties, and what would be the next step? You were talking about some multifamily.
Correct. So there's a ton of ways, there's a lot of, hard money loans out there. We've never used them, my wife and I.
Yeah.
We've always went the traditional route. We work hard. We save up 20% down for the single families, 25% down for the multifamilies. But when we started out, like I said, you can go in as little as 3.5% down. Now the next step for us, we accumulated close to $1.85 million in real estate. Our debt to income, so our debt servicing is very low. I want to say around $450,000 in debt for the mortgages. So it frees up a lot of equity. So the next step for me personally, I'm looking to take that equity and roll it over into possibly commercial apartment buildings or more multifamily. So, with the 2 single family homes I currently have, I'm thinking about possibly doing full rehabs on them and flipping them for a profit, and then taking that money and putting it in a 1031 exchange and rolling it over into a multi-unit complex, or more multi-unit like doubles and triples.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
So we were talking, you're also not born in this country, you immigrated from Europe.
Yeah. So I was 11 years old when we came to the United States. This was back in '98. My mom and dad, they were refugees, you know, and my sister and I, we spoke no English when we came here. Worked, all of us, you know, I was 13 years old, we worked as dishwashers. At the age of 13, I worked with my parents at this local restaurant, and we literally worked for $7 an hour, man. You would have these waiters come back and they would make $200-300 a night, and my whole family didn't make that, you know, on a Saturday night. And I remember my mom's first car in the States was a 1989 Honda Civic with a ton of miles, man. And we literally, our first apartment, it was a double family home. 20 years ago, they were paying $650 a month. And we slept on the floor, man. My mom got blankets from like Goodwill or the dollar store, and we literally just had pillows and blankets. We slept on the floor. And I'll never forget those days. I mean, that's something you just don't forget, you know, growing up. So
I agree.
Yeah. And I owe it to them. You know, they sacrificed a lot for my sister and I to come here, and I owe it to them to make them proud and hopefully take care of them like they took care of me and my sister. And that's one of the main reasons I'm holding on to that single family across the street from me, because, you know, in our culture we don't really believe in retirement homes, and we want to take care of our elders as much as we can. And also so they can babysit, of course. So yeah, so they're my whys. Like that's what drives me, man. That's absolutely what drives me. So
that's really nice of you.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are afraid to go into real estate investing. They don't want to fix the toilets. They don't want to have those nightmare tenants and stuff. So what was the last time you had to fix the toilet, and what do you do? How do you go about screening your tenants, and how do you know who is the right fit?
So when I get these properties, I do all the heavy lifting up front. I change out the water valves. I change the toilets to low flush, so they don't waste as much water, because if it's a double family home, the water bill falls on me. When you get into the commercial space, those property managers, they want to have everything like, they want to save on their water bill is like a big expense, you know. But 5 full years of doing this, I might have gotten a maintenance call maybe three times. And like I said, it goes back to doing the heavy lifting up front. And if you're looking at it from a long-term perspective, you put into work when you buy the property, you know, and you do the changing of the valves and making sure that everything's up to par and up to code, so that way you have minimal issues come down the line. As far as screening the tenants, that is a big one. Like I said, I'm a big believer in if your credit is clean, your house is clean. You know, and all my tenants have 740, 750 credit scores. They're young professionals. You know, I have a guy working for Ernest Young. I have a house full of nurses. And what's great with nurses is when they move out, they refer me other nurses. You know, so nice. I always have like very good quality tenants.
So your vacancy rate is really low, right?
Very low, very low. And you know, if you're not a slumlord, it's gonna be low. You know, because if you're a cool, I would like to think I'm a cool landlord, right? So if you're a cool landlord like me, you know, I'm pretty easygoing as long as the rent is paid and you know, they take care of the property. You know, I understand general like wear and tear. It's a given, right? But if you take care of the property, the tenants will take care of you. So
there is this huge misconception that off-market deals are usually better. So what would you say to that?
I mean, it depends what you define as better. You know, there's a lot more value add when it comes to off-market properties if you find them. So you can build a lot more equity, but they take a lot more work. So you got to invest quite a bit of money to get them up and running. Usually the stuff you see in the MLS, it's more than likely turnkey and ready to go. For somebody that's inexperienced, I would definitely recommend them working with a realtor to find them that home, you know, that double, triple, or whatever the case may be, as their first investment property. But as far as the off-market deals, if you're handy, if you're somewhat handy, you know, there's properties everywhere that are not marketed. You know, you just got to talk to people. You know, I have stories for hours on all my properties, how I found them, and most of them have been off market, but that's for another video, man.
Yeah,
that's for another video.
We'll definitely
for sure.
make some more videos like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
bro.
You also have a YouTube channel, like
I do. You can find it at Z for All. There I talk about investment strategies when it comes to real estate, helping people understand the real estate market as a whole and how it can benefit you down the line. You know, I'm not talking about a year from now or 2 years from now. I'm talking about 15, 20, 30 years from now, and how your future can potentially look if you play your cards right and if you make the right moves. So.
That's amazing, man. Thank you so much for your time. And you guys, if you have any questions for Z, just please comment down below.
Reach out, man. I'm here.
And I'm also going to link his channel in my description, so
awesome, man.
You can subscribe here and learn some amazing tips about real estate investing.
Awesome. And I want to thank you for I want to thank you for taking the time and doing this. You know, I see you've been here a couple years, man, and I reached out to you. I saw you hustling in your real estate game, and I'm like, this guy's an animal, man, absolutely animal. And you got to surround yourself with people that, you know, drive you and push you. And you know, you're a young guy, man. How old are you now?
I'll be 25, hopefully.
25 years old. So I'm in my pushing mid 30s. I'm 34 years old. When I saw you, and you know, your first year in real estate I remember my first year. I did nowhere near as much as you did. And that shows, man, with hard work and perseverance, man, it just, you can do anything, man, especially in this country, man.
Absolutely.
So, cool.
Cool, yeah.